What's up, YouTube? This is Big Mike. All right, in this video, I want to ask you guys a question. This is one of those comparison videos that I do sometimes. Who do you think was the better player and who had the better career between Gary Payton and Steve Nash? So neither one of them won a championship, so that can't be part of the argument. Sometimes some people kind of decide when it's relatively close as far as the comparison. They use the ring as the final determination, so that's been excluded from this argument. I think I would have to go with Gary Payton. I think Payton had a slightly longer dominant span than Steve Nash. Now, Steve Nash was Steve Nash for maybe 2003-ish, 2004 to maybe 2010, 11. Can't quite remember. But I'll give him like a 6 or 7 year span where he was Steve Nash. In particular, when he was with the Phoenix Suns. All right, that's why I tend to look at Steve Nash a little bit as he was great. Don't get me wrong, but I think he was a bit of a product of D'Antoni's system as far as his numbers is concerned. But he was an exceptional passer, a great shooter, not a great scorer per se, but he was a great shooter. And I guess you gotta make comparisons. Shooting, obviously, Steve Nash. Scoring, neither one of them were great scorers, but Payton worked his way into becoming a very good scorer. I remember him having, I think, at least a couple of seasons, or one season where he averaged 24 points a game. I think it was like 2003, 2004, 2002, 2001, those years. But he worked his way into becoming a 20 points per game scorer. Steve Nash was never a 20 points per game guy. But then again, he was never a score-first point guard anyway. Passing, I give the edge to Steve Nash, although Gary Payton was a very good passer. Defense, this is like Reagan Mondale, man. As far as like making a political election comparison, it's Payton in a tsunami landslide. Payton is arguably the greatest perimeter. No, I'm not gonna say greatest perimeter, but he's arguably the greatest defensive point guard of all time. And I say arguably because there's other people that you can put up there. Steve Nash, that was his one big weakness, was defense. I believe Payton made more All-Star appearances, had more accolades, and Payton didn't come into the NBA gangbusters, but if I'm not mistaken, I think he did start off his career, I might be wrong with this one, but I think he pretty much started either his first year or his second year. I can't remember, but Steve Nash was a work in progress. He started with Phoenix. I'm going to tell you something. He was so buried on the bench with Phoenix that I don't even remember him the first couple of years that he played. I don't even remember him on those Suns teams. Seriously, I don't really remember him. All I remember is Jason Kidd. I remember Kevin Johnson came back out of retirement, and that's it. I don't really remember anybody else. So I got to go with Gary Payton. Tell me what you guys think.